Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into the stunning new use case for XRP, what it means for XRP holders, and how you can seize the opportunity. If that sounds good to you, then smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. On the 17th of June, Ripple made an announcement about a partnership with FLUF and their new Layer 1 metaverse-focused blockchain, the Root Network. The Root Network is a culmination of 5 years of strategy, research, and development to create the foundation for open, scalable metaverse infrastructure. The XRP token is going to play a key role. Monica Long, GM of Ripple, had this to say: "We are thrilled for Ripple to partner with FLUF on the exciting project of the open metaverse. For nearly 10 years, the XRPL ledger has served as the best-in-class capabilities for settlement and liquidity of any tokenized asset, from currencies to collectibles. The partnership is a testament to the robustness of the XRPL ledger to support a metaverse project of this scale. The team behind FLUF has led the conversation around the open metaverse, an approach that shapes the best practices, values, and technological architecture needed to build the new interoperable world of Web3, a path to a digital world where boundaries between user experience silos are broken down and worlds and experiences become interoperable. At the heart of the open metaverse, FLUF has architected the Root Network. Aaron McDonald, co-founder of Centrality, the team behind FLUF, had this to say: "Partnering with the Ripple team on the Root Network opens a whole new world of possibilities for our community and theirs. We're excited about how we can further extend the utility of XRP as the default gas token of this metaverse network, while bringing the capabilities of the Root Network and the open metaverse through XRPL's substantial global infrastructure footprint to developers." This is a stunning development for Ripple and XRP holders. As this new XRP use case unfolds, XRP will literally be used now to power the open metaverse and will serve as the gas token for the Root Network. The Root Network is designed in a way where any token can be used for gas to simplify the user experience. But in the background, every token is swapped for XRP and used as gas to process transactions. This means that XRP is the base pair token, and each and every token on the Root Network will need an equal amount of XRP to provide liquidity. So it's not too hard to see how this plays out, especially if the Root Network gathers momentum with new users and applications. More users and applications means more tokens, and more tokens means more XRP is needed to be sunk into these liquidity pools, taking it off the open market. And the laws of supply and demand simply dictate more demand, less supply, higher price. Aaron had a great conversation with David Schwarts, the CTO of Ripple. Let's take a listen to some of the highlights.
I'm David Schwarts. I'm the CTO at Ripple, co-creator of the XRP ledger. I'm here with Aaron McDonald. So I have to ask you, what do you like about the XRP ledger?
When I first started looking into it, I was quite surprised because there's quite a bit of rhetoric out there, and if you only investigate things at that level, you might be misled in terms of what's actually being built. I think it was a very clever solution to solving the energy problem and performance problem of proof of work. And the architecture of it, in some ways, if you implement it as the protocol was designed, is possibly more decentralized than proof of stake, because users get to choose the validators that they want to listen to. And so you can have this kind of layers of decentralization within the network that aren't available in other architectures, which I thought was really interesting.
So tell us what you guys are doing and why it's so interesting.
So we've been working for a while now to figure out what is the ideal user experience for bringing people into Web3. Our teams have been building at different layers. In the protocol layer, come up with some interesting inventions there that we've worked on and had patented. In the application layer, around wallet user experience, and more recently around the content space as funnels for users to come into Web3. All those little bits of stuff that people have been working on for the last 5 years, we tied together recently in a white paper called Enter the Futureverse.
The Futureverse. It is the monster white paper drop that FLUF, Aaron McDonald, all the crazy mofos who are connected to that ecosystem, they drop something big.
And the Futureverse as a concept is about bringing together what we'd call like the open metaverse operating system. So there's different components that are necessary to drive safe user adoption for more users, an onboarding experience that feels familiar to them, and world-leading content experiences to draw them in. And there's a whole host of things below the surface on that protocol layer that we've been working on, particularly the Root Network.
The Root Network, a decentralized blockchain network optimized for user experience and onboarding. Yes, it's a layer 1. They're building a goddamn layer 1. This blew my mind when I saw it.
The Root Network's a new approach to building out a layer 1. So we stepped back from what's faster and cheaper and said, what's the best user experience? And the team put together a bunch of protocols that we think deliver a superior user experience and built those into the core of the network architecture. Because we started on this journey thinking about user onboarding for the masses that's optimized for where the metaverse is headed in terms of layer one blockchain optimized for metaverse experiences. Identity, payments, NFT assets, all of the user onboarding, user safety features that you would expect from like a traditional application is what the team's been working hard on. And really now's their moment to kind of start to shine. And so the root network is the underlying substrate for protocols to sit on, for the assets to exist inside of, for the data to exist inside of, that delivers that user experience that we want to deliver in the Futureverse white paper. If we really care about Web3 and the open metaverse, then we have to care about user experience because that's what's going to bring everyone in. Yeah, and it's just a different frame of thinking. So if you start with a technology focus to solving a problem, what you find is that in order to deliver the user experience, you have to undo a lot of the things you thought you had right in the protocol and infrastructure side of things to deliver that. So while it's important and it's good that that stuff has happened and we're building on the shoulders of giants who have paved this path, it was important to take that step back and say, okay, well, let's look at this with fresh eyes and think about the problem in a different frame.
The XRP ledger's been around since 2012 or so, so it has kind of stood the test of time in a way that some of the newer technologies haven't. And I think shaking out problems, especially if you're going to trust it with very, very high value applications that are attack and theft targets,
And so we have to think about the internet of blockchains. There are different protocols that suit different kinds of use cases, and that's cool. And let's try and make them work together as much as we possibly can.
And can we keep them interoperable?
We have to keep them interoperable. I mean, that's one of the things about the root network, right? So out of the box, we're going to be interoperable with Ethereum and XRPL, and we're going to do that in an interesting way. And the architecture allows us to expand that to other networks as well.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there are people who want NFTs on Ethereum, and there are people who don't want to spend $10 for a transaction.
Or they've just chosen their tribe as XRP, and that's cool. Well, let's give them superpowers too, so they can do all sorts of cool things. That's the opportunity here, is to say people have chosen that tribe for whatever reason. You don't agree with them, cool, that's fine. You chose a different thing, that's also fine. The goal is to give both those users the ability to have a great user experience, interact with the open metaverse, to give those assets that they hold on each one of those things superpowers so they can come and do more things and be more useful. It's only a win-win.
So there's advantages and disadvantages of both depending on what you're trying to do. I would say if it's a very high value thing with a small number, or you need very complex functionality, Ethereum might be a better choice. If you want ease of transfer, high speed, low cost, and you don't need it to trigger complex behavior in a smart contract, then the XRP ledger is probably a better choice.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary, and I'm going to split it down the middle by saying the root network is trying to do the best of both. So we were taking the approach that there is an NFT runtime in the network that has that standardization of functions and features, and if you use that, you'll be able to transact with the NFT ecosystem that's built on top of that in a uniform way. And we have smart contracts. And so if you want to do something super special that was not like intended in the original design of the runtime, you can add that functionality on top of it. I think the other thing both XRPL and Root Network have as a benefit is standardization. When we talk about this next layer of interoperability at the metaverse layer, the ERC process produces a level of standardization, which is useful, but it doesn't go far enough, I think, in order to have the asset layer as a standardized thing for applications. And so I think we have the opportunity with these more kind of defined network behaviors to increase the ability for interoperability to happen because the data structures are similar every time.
Before I continue, if you are new to the channel, hi, welcome. I'm Jerry, host of Into the Futureverse, where I cover alpha and updates on all things FLUF world and the Futureverse ecosystem. And if you enjoy this content, consider supporting the channel by smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, and hitting the notifications bell so you get all my videos in a timely fashion.
But I was just shocked. This isn't a layer 2, it's a layer 1. Decentralization is a real thing, and it requires a lot of nodes, it requires a lot of validators, it requires a lot of buy-in. Finding enough validators to really get the network running and functioning properly, that's a big old task, and it sends out a big statement. It really, really does.
Well, in this case, yes, they will have the validator problem, but somehow I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, because we finally have an L1 that has probably more utility than the top 50 coins out there combined.
Ouch, Bruno.
So,
the thing is, I kind of agree with you. As well. Like, they sneaked all of this tech in under the cover of storytelling and NFTs and good time partying and all this other stuff. And underneath it all, they were building out proper, genuine infrastructure. It's so intriguing, the whole thing.
There's a big difference between something that I own that I can put in my pocket and it goes wherever I go and is only subject to the rules that I impose on it, and say my ownership of a piece of real estate.
And that kind of notion of putting it in your pocket, I guess, is what Web3 is about, right? And so how do we create better systems for more people to engage with that in a safer way? And that's the mission of the Futureverse.
Now, to find out more information about the Root network and the broader Futureverse ecosystem, I made this 80-minute video, which is a high-level primer consisting of a mashup of interviews of the various players involved in this ecosystem. It's a long watch, but it's packed full of alpha, and after watching it, I'm sure you'll be as bullish on the ecosystem as I am. They've been building a lot of this stuff for years, through 2 bear markets now, and have several unique selling points and competitive advantages, including some patented technology that other ecosystems simply won't be able to obtain. So as you can see, XRP's new use case is literally powering an open metaverse, and the greater the usage of the Root network, the more demand for XRP. The other way to position yourself to take advantage of the Root network launching is to buy FLUF World assets. And you can find out more information on the tokenomics at futureverse.com by reading their white paper. Now, the Futureverse ecosystem is not just a layer 1 blockchain, it's a whole bunch of supporting tools and infrastructure, most of which has been built over the last several years, including the Silo network for encrypted decentralized comms and wallet infrastructure, Xrp with fiat gateways and merchant payments, Xrpass with privacy first, digital identity and eKYC for trustless access, and Carbon Click, which 2x carbon offsets each and every NFT created on the Root network, making them regenerative NFTs. To break it down even further and more succinctly, I created this 47-part Twitter thread, which highlights the ecosystem and touches on the partnership with Ripple. One of the key features of the Root network is its partnership with Ripple. Now, a lot of peeps in Web3 disapprove, but I think it's a masterstroke, and here's why. The token used to secure the network is mycelium. Validators will need to stake mycelium to run a node, but the rewards aren't paid out in mycelium. So mycelium has a fixed supply and, in theory, less sell pressure. Users can stake their mycelium to a validator and share in the real yield generated by the network. Imagine staking ETH and receiving a share of all Uniswap fees, transaction fees, a percentage of each and every new token and NFT drop that happens on the network. It's all baked into the cake here. Rewards are issued in XRP. XRP is one of the most liquid tokens around, and XRP is used to pay gas and perform transactions on the Root network. This means every token on the network will have a native pool paired with XRP. It allows users to pay for gas in any token on the network, which currently is a massive pain point for users in Web3 everywhere. It also means that XRP just landed a killer new use case, literally powering an open metaverse. So the partnership is truly win-win. What's in it for the Futureverse? Well, the Futureverse gets very deep liquidity and tight central exchange integrations, plus the XRP army as its extended family. XRP holders get a whole new use case, and the larger the Futureverse grows, the more XRP is needed. Remember, it's the base pair for every token on the Root network. If you want to position yourself to receive some of the mycelium token when the Root network launches, you still have time, and the best way to do this is by purchasing some of the FLUF World NFTs. 10% of all mycelium tokens will be airdropped to holders of NFTs within the FLUF World ecosystem. To find out more about the NFTs themselves and how you can position yourself to receive more of the mycelium token, which is the native staking and governance token of the Root network, maybe give this a watch. Now, the exact details are yet to be released, but should be dropping in the coming days. To simplify things even further, I created another tweet thread that can be read in minutes and gives you a nice summary of what's available. It also has all the official links so you can safely make purchases. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!